Right, so on the back of 2007, which of course I mentioned was a bit of an underwhelming year, we go into another underwhelming year of 2008. And don't get me wrong, there's some good albums here, but not having the strength of quality and quantity as the previous years of the early 2000s. But we'll go into a few honourable mentions first. Go into this Razorlight Slipway Fires. Didn't quite make the top 10, but an album worth picking up. The Script, self-titled The Script, includes the hit singles The Man Who, Can't Be Moved and We Cry, but was never really kind of my kind of thing really. That's why it's not made in the top 10. Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy. I do like Guns N' Roses, but sort of the heydays kind of passed. You know, when this came out, you know, doesn't really sort of ring with me. You know, but I mean, other people would like this album and probably place it firmly in their top 10, and that's understandable. But not really for me. Escape the Fates, This War Is Ours, a bit of heavy metal, but not worthy enough to make the top 10. Nickelback, Dark Horse. It says on the front here, 11 new Nickelback classics, including Gonna Be Somebody, This Afternoon, and If Today Was Your Last Day. So there's good, like, 3 solid hits on here. But I've never really given Nickelback much sort of time and attention, really. And it's just, I don't know, after one of their albums which came out in the early 2000s, I wasn't really interested. Although they had quite a lot of success with some of their later albums, never really sort of appealed to me like their hits, and this is one which I've never really sort of given enough time to. But maybe if I did, you know, might change my mind. But for now, it's out of the top 10 for the moment. So my top 10 then starts off with Oasis's last album, and unfortunately, it is the worst album in my opinion, and that is Dig Out Your Soul. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's all right. It's okay. Reason it's in the top 10 is because I'm a big Oasis fan and I couldn't exclude it. So yeah, I suppose, you know, there is that to it. But yeah, it's all right. It's, you know, if you find it for a £1, buy it. You know, because it's, you know, Oasis are a great band, but kind of petered out towards the end, like a lot of these bands do. Number 9, Snow Patrol, 100 Million Suns. So yeah, a noticeable entry by Snow Patrol, and yeah, it's a pretty good album. The Ting Tings, yeah, very refreshing to hear the Ting Tings back in 2008. They Call Me Stacey was one of their hits, wasn't it? I'm not sure if it's actually called that. But anyway, yeah, that's not my name. That's the title of it. But yeah, refreshing to hear. And actually, they have will actually release a new album, I think, this year. So they are making a bit of a comeback, like almost. Well, good to say what 15 years later or so. So yeah. Anyway, not a bad album. Number 7, Feeling, Join With Us. Not as good as their previous album. Has all the bells and whistles, but doesn't really work for me. I like the hits, Join With Us, but other than that, it's kind of, you know, it's okay. Elbow, The Seldom Seen Kid. Nice album. And the track, One Day Like This, is just phenomenal. It's worth picking up for that track alone. Yeah, great song. And it's not a bad album. So, yeah, Elbow, and it is The Seldom Seen Kid. Keane, Perfect Symmetry. I love Keane, but it's not a great album, but it's worth buying if you like Keane and indie music. So yeah, I think I put a lot into this album. I think a lot of promotion and yeah, it's a noticeable entry of that year. Killers, Day and Age. Bit of a comeback, I think after a couple of years or so, and it's pretty good. Not my favourite of theirs, but a noticeable entry of that year again. Fourth spot, AC/DC, Black Ice. I do like this album. And AC/DC, for me, was a welcomed kind of change of music regarding the bands, and yeah, I mean, I used to listen to a lot of indie, so like to hear a bit of the classic rock band AC/DC in 2008 was very refreshing to hear. I do like the song War Machine on here, but yeah, good album of theirs. Third spot, of course, the Coldplay album Viva La Vida, Death and All His Friends. Quite a long title. Yeah, so this is a good Coldplay album, and it was probably one of the biggest sellers, I think, of the year, I believe. So yes, the third spot goes to Coldplay. Number 2, Kings of Leon, and that is Only by the Night. They had, of course, Sets on Fire, which is a huge hit. You Somebody and Cruel. Yeah, probably their best, most successful album. I think they done Kings of Leon. This was pretty big, and yeah, worthy of number 2 spot. But the number 1. And this surprised me, really. Never would have thought The Verve would reach a number 1 spot of our albums again, but they've done it for me. Fourth, we'll see their 4th album is really good, really good. It's not as maybe as memorable as like Urban Hymns, but you know, it's good enough to reach number 1 in my top 10 of that year. And yeah, I'm very surprised, I'm very glad to see them make a comeback, but they probably didn't get the recognition they should have got, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, there is my top 10. Yeah, the albums aren't as good as some of the previous years, as I stated, but this is how we are, I think, as of like the late noughties, and it's apparent even now that, you know, the good times seem to have passed us. But there is good music out there. You just have to sort of look for it. Not necessarily in the charts or the mainstream, but it is out there. And you know, keep the faith, and you know, keep looking for these albums, because they are out there. You know, in the charity shops, you can pick them up next to nothing. You know, even if they are 10, 15, 20 years old. You know, it still might be very new and fresh to some people who may have missed out on them. You can't buy everything every single year, can you? So sometimes it takes a while to collect and gain certain albums. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, I'll try to do a 2009. I don't have that many albums at the moment, so I need a few more. I need to do a little bit more research of albums of the next year, see if they're worth picking up or not. So until my next video then, folks, Bye for now.